Hi and welcome to Bold Baking Basics. This is where we get stuck into the fundamentals of baking. These videos are about getting you to bake with confidence anytime, anywhere. So praline is a really popular treat around the holiday season, and although it is caramel based, it's actually really easy to make. The recipe can be found on biggerbolderbaking.com along with all of my other recipes. Okay, let's get started with our first step. So for this praline, I'm using slivered almonds. You can also use whole almonds. And a great thing about this recipe is you can actually use any nut that you like. What we're going to do now is just scatter these on our tray. So what we're going to do now is pop these into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius for roughly 8 to 10 minutes or until they get nice and toasty. Toasted nuts are so aromatic and it makes a huge difference to your praline. So I'm going to set those aside and let them cool down. Now before we get started with our caramel, here I have a tray lined with parchment paper and I put some butter on it, and we're going to pour our praline straight onto this, and with the butter it won't stick. I'm going to put this right beside me because when the praline's ready it's going to go straight onto there. Okay, I've got everything I need. Now let's start making our caramel. Into a heavy bottom saucepan add in your sugar and a little bit of water. Then turn on the heat to around a medium-low until your sugar dissolves. At this point you can stir your sugar until it dissolves. So praline is based on caramel, which some people can be a little bit nervous about making. I've got a video about troubleshooting caramel. It tells you what to do and what not to do. It's really, really easy to follow. If you watch that video, you'll be able to make praline no problem. So it's really important for your sugar to dissolve before you allow it to simmer, and I'll tell you why. When making praline, sometimes it can be a little bit grainy, and that is because the sugar wasn't fully dissolved before you simmered it. So just make note of that. So I can tell by looking at it that our sugar is dissolved. This is the perfect time to let it come to a simmer. Okay, so now this next step is the waiting game. You're not going to touch the heat, you're just going to let it sit there and continue to bubble away very gently until it reaches a lovely amber color. The timing of this step does vary because caramel does take quite a long time to make, so it will take around 15 minutes or so. So a really important thing when making caramel is to be patient. Let it just bubble away and do its thing. What you can't do, however, is walk away. You always want to be close by, keeping an eye on it because it can turn pretty fast. So we've just reached the color that I want. This is perfect, so I'm going to add in my butter and my toasted almonds. And then just give that all a stir up together, coating all of those nuts. So once it's all mixed together, go ahead and pour it immediately onto your prepared tray. Now be very careful at this point because caramel is extremely hot, so if you need help, ask for it. Gorgeous. So that's our praline, but don't touch it. Right now we're going to have to set it aside and let it go completely cold. So it's been around half an hour, our praline is completely cold, so this is the fun part. Get something nice and heavy and then just bash it up into little pieces. Little or as big, whatever you want. So one of the reasons praline is so popular around the holiday season is that it makes great gifts. You can make it 4 weeks in advance, keep it out at room temperature in an airtight container, and then you can just hand it out to your friends and family. What you don't want to do is pop it into the fridge because it can go soft if you put it in the fridge. My mom absolutely adores praline, and I think that's why I love it so much. You can make any different type you want. You can dip it in chocolate, use different nuts. You can even use salted nuts to add a bit of extra flavor. Head over to biggerbolderbaking.com for lots more basics just like this one, like how to make cream cheese and even homemade pie crust. I'll see you back here really soon for more bigger, bolder baking.